What's up, YouTube? NinjaNick333 here with commentary for the Kirwan's Game Store Catskill, New York League Cup for Quarter 1. They posted this to their Twitch. They were live streaming it, but they didn't have any commentary. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add my own commentary. I was playing in the event. I ended up getting 10th. I missed out on top 8 because there was quite a lot of Weavile and like Buzz Shrine type stuff, shenanigans, and it's a super rough matchup for Revolt. So I'm gonna get right into it. Round 1 we have Brady Guy. He's a senior. He's on the right here versus his opponent. I don't know her name. But Brady suggested that they put seniors on stream, so that's what they ended up doing. Brady is probably like one of the best players in seniors, at least in my opinion. He's got multiple regional finishes, and I think maybe even one or two international finishes as well. So he starts off, he uses the nest ball, he makes sure that he has both a Trubbish for the Trashalanche potential on the bench just to make sure his opponent doesn't have doesn't play too many items. You can like potentially stop Gardevoir from coming into play if they're like really afraid of the Trashalanche. I don't think that's going to make much of an issue because of the Twilight GX being able to shuffle those items back in. But I think he nest balled for the Slugma because he wants to make sure Macargo's in play. This Buzzgarb Shrine deck really relies on the Macargo in order to continue to draw whatever cards you need every turn. Otherwise, the whole deck is just like a brick fest. The whole thing does not work without Macargo. If that card was not released, this deck just would not be good, in my opinion. Both Brady and his father, Marcus, Marcus is a master, obviously. They both played this Buzzgarb Shrine deck. This is literally the day after the day 2 results came out. So this is the Sunday, day after everybody found out Weavile was a good card. So what ended up happening was everybody decided to hop on Weavile at the same time, and I decided to stay on Revolt because I didn't want to look for my Weaviles at 2 a.m. or something. But Brady and Marcus ended up taking the Weavile out of the deck and replaced it with the Garb. So it had the whole Macargo Acrobike Kukui engine that really made it super consistent, just like the Weavile, but the Garb is just like overall a stronger card because it can work against more matchups than just say Ray. Because the Weavile kind of just I don't really think it's that good. It can only really beat Ray. It's easy to play around it with any other deck. So Brady goes, he Kukuis, he draws a beast energy off of it, I think, and he like slaps it down, and he's like 80. He's got Garb in play, he's got Macargo in play, so now he can draw whatever card he wants every turn, or he can stack whatever card he wants to the top, and then draw it off of something like a Kukui or the Acrobike. His opponent on the left there, she has the Magical Ribbon in play, so she's gonna just choose to search her deck for 3 cards. She's probably gonna get something like a Rare Candy Guardy, maybe a Fairy Energy, maybe a Supporter. I don't really know what's in her hand because I wasn't paying attention. She has another Eevee in play, so she could potentially like continue Magical Ribboning if she has to after this Sylveon gets knocked out, but I do think that it's going to still stay in play for at least one more turn. It's not really possible for Brady to take a knockout on a Sylveon at this point in the game. Buzzgarb Shrine's damage output is like fairly low early game until you get to the Sledgehammer turn. The real key of the deck is the Shrine of Punishments, which he just put out before playing that Cynthia. Make sure that 10 damage goes on all GXs and EX Pokemon, I believe, or maybe it's just GXs, I don't know, between turns, so it's going to really soften stuff up for the Buzzwole to just Sledgehammer in and take knockouts. Brady gets another Trubbish onto his bench, gets an Oranguru, so now if his hand is less than 3 cards, he can just stack the top card of his deck with Macargo, and then draw into it with the Oranguru, which is just a super strong combination. If he manages to get a second Macargo out, he can stack the top card of his deck, Oranguru into it, stack the top card of his deck again, Acrobike or Kukui into that, or just wait until next turn to draw it. Like, the deck is just super busted like that. Like, just being able to stack the top card of your deck is just huge. I mean, I don't really see any way Gardevoir can actually beat this deck. It's just such a rough matchup. I mean, like, the Sledgehammer, it's got 130 HP, so you have to put a bunch of energies on the Guardy to one-shot. You don't really want to two-shot it, because they can kind of easily two-shot you with the Beast Energy and stuff. You'll have to Twilight at some point just to get around the Garb, which wastes a turn of attacking. The Sylveon only hits 100. It's just, this is a super gross matchup, and, like, nobody should be playing Gardevoir, even though half my opponents in Philly played Gardevoir. So, alright, now Brady gets that Diancie down now, which is super strong. So now he's got Sledgehammer with the Beast Energy, with the Diancie, and with the damage from Shrine of Punishments in between turns. So he is doing 3, 6, 80 just with the Sledgehammer, 90 with the Shrine of Punishments. He can two-shot any Lele that could potentially come into play now. The Shrine of Punishments is going to put damage in between turns on that Sylveon as well. And now that there's a Guardian play, that will take Shrine damage as well. It's got 230 HP, which is super high, but the Shrine mitigating that is really good. And there Brady goes and reminds his opponent to take the Shrine damage. She Guzma to up the Macargo and knocked it out, which I think is probably the best play she could have possibly made. Putting up the Gardevoir, which is still fresh, to like stop Brady from taking a knockout on that Sylveon immediately. The Shrine damage could still build up on it, but I mean that's another turn away. So like just try to replace the Stadium or get a Field Blower for next turn. She gets the Macargo out of play so that Brady can't just draw whatever card he wants. So that'll like kill the consistency essentially. He still has the Oranguru, so I think he'll be fine. I mean, Acrobike is still just a really good card anyway. Kukui just draws you cards anyway. He still has Cynthia's, so like he's still gonna draw cards, but like he's not gonna get whatever he wants every turn. Here you see Brady attaches another energy and the Choice Band, goes swings in with that swing around. He's counting up the damage that he's doing. So he goes, let's see, that's 80 plus 30 and another 30 for the Choice Band. Strong Beast Energy. 140, 160 with the Diancie. 170 with the Shrine of Punishments. It already had 10 on it. Whatever, something like that. I don't know. Shrine damage goes down onto that Sylveon, so it is going to die going into her next turn after this from the Shrine of Punishment damage. So she really needs to replace that Stadium or play the Field Blower this turn, or she's kind of at a loss because Brady can just go in. So what'll happen is now what she's forced to do is knock out this Buzzwole because it's still going to two-shot her Guardy either way. So she has to knock it out, which puts her on 4 prizes, and Brady has a Sledgehammer on his bench, so that then he can go put that up and take the knockout just with Sledgehammer. While the Shrine also knocks out the Sylveon, so Brady can just like take 4 prizes next turn, essentially, whether she kills this Buzzwole or not. So this is kind of checkmate at this point. You just kind of should scoop, go to the next game, just to save time. They still do really have plenty of time left in the match, so I don't really blame her for still trying to play it out, because the Buzzgarb Shrine, it kind of just, it's a slow deck, but it's a fast deck at the same time. So there you go, you see the Sylveon dying. Brady takes 2 prizes, draws for turn. This Guardy is going to die to a Sledgehammer. I see no reason not to. He's got to have some sort of energy in his hand. And then still, like, so he's gonna knock out this Guardy. She's just gonna have an EV, and there's no way that there's no way you come back from this at this point in the game. The Trasher Lanch is now threatening, so I don't know how many items she's played, but if she wants to get set up, she's gonna have to play some Nest Balls, and that's just gonna feed into the Trasher Lanch. She's too far behind, so she can't Twilight anymore. Here we go. Brady's just drawing cards. Puts down the Fighting Energy, and he's just going to Sledgehammer for the knockout. So entirely, like as I thought. Here comes the EV, so, I mean, what's she going to do? Energy Evolve? Like, it's just, like, she's playing it perfectly, but, like, what are you going to do? Like, this is just a super gross matchup for her. I feel really bad. Brady's like super set up. 2 Garbs. He's got another Slugma to play, so he can just like Rescue Stretcher or Macargo. Just get that back into play, start stacking his deck again. I mean, legally stacking your deck is like the best thing you could possibly do in the Pokemon trading card game. Oh, and there it is. Did he top deck that? That was pretty insane. And there he goes, Guzma up the Ralts, and this is check. If it wasn't checkmate before, this is checkmate now. There's just like that Ralts, man. That's a dead Ralts. Actually, no, because he only hits 50. But I mean, still softening that up, I guess, is better. I don't know. I might have still just knocked out the EV and been done with it, but I'm bad, so what do I know? Brady's actually better than me, in my opinion. Oh no, he takes the... Oh, he Kukui, didn't he? Oh yeah, he Kukui. Yeah, he took that knockout. What am I saying? That's me not paying attention. And there comes that Ralts back into play. Very determined to keep that Ralts into play. I mean, that's her best bet. I mean, she just kind of has to, you know, take another knockout with Gardevoir, and then Twilight, and then sweep from there with just the one Gardevoir. I mean, he's at 1 prize, so... But it's like, what do? You just attach a DC, Secret Spring, run once, 3, 6, 9, 12. That's still only 120, so you're 10 short of knocking out the Buzzwole. I mean, Tate and Lisa gets her the Fairy Energy. Okay, so she can Magical Ribbon this turn. She can get Rare Candy Guardy, like Energy or something. It will take a hit. I mean, he's Sledgehammering now for the full 120, 140 with the Diancie. But I do really like this play, because this will get her set up. So, because she needs a Gardevoir in play the next turn. And she really does have to... she just kind of has to tank with Guardy and, like, run through. So on her next turn, she could do something like Rare Candy Guardy, DCE, Secret Spring, Guzma, knock out Macargo. And then that puts her back at 3 prizes. Then the Buzzwole isn't doing that much damage anymore. You still really need to get rid of that Shrine of Punishments, though. I don't know if she's playing Field Blower. I don't know. She probably just isn't drawing it yet. And, nope, Brady just Kukui's, Choice Bands, and Shrine of Punishments, and I guess that's 200, at least. So, game 1's over. That was one spicy knockout. Kukui is a good card. It is a very good card. Not a single GX used during that match. So Brady's up 1 game now. This is a best 2 out of 3 cup. Kirwan's Game Store always does best 2 out of 3 for everything. Just because you could brick around, and they start their tournaments like super early, like 10 o'clock. So they have plenty of time to do best 2 out of 3 for the whole day. You see Brady pile shuffling here, just making sure that, you know, nothing is like too clumped together. I don't really see the point in pile shuffling myself. I think if you just like mash shuffle or riffle shuffle enough, it does the same thing as pile shuffling, essentially, but that's just me. You can kind of tell that his opponent there is a little sad that she just kind of just got pushed in game 1. I mean, again, there's really nothing you can do. Gardevoir has a bad Buzzwole and Buzz GX matchup. It's like pretty horrendous. it has a pretty good Ray matchup if you can get set up. Ray sometimes is like too fast, too furious, and just like kind of runs through you before you even get set up. But the thing that with her playing the Sylveon is if she does go against a Ray and they start going too fast, too furious, she can literally just Magical Ribbon for a DCE, slap it down, and then one-shot a Ray. And then continue to just like play Cynthia's or something to set up with. So like it has a pretty good Ray matchup. Ray is like the top deck going into the tournament. The Again though, the regional that was just still in the process of happening during this particular weekend did have a lot of Buzz Shrine with Weavile and Buzz Shrine with Garb, which is just, just not a good matchup for pretty much anything in the format at this current moment. She starts Lele, and that's bad. I mean, obviously she had no choice. If I were her, I would have still slapped down the DCE and then Cynthia'd, just because then the next turn I guess I could two-shot. Like, that Lele is stuck there either way. And it's probably just going to die. I realize you probably want to get a Sylveon into play turn 1, but if you slap down the DCE, you can at least two-shot the Buzzwole potentially. Because you could hit. So he'll put down a Fighting Energy, and then she'll hit him and then he'll hit her for 50. Then she'll do 60 to it, and then she could knock it out with Sylveon. I don't know. I guess I don't think it really matters too much either way. I would at least have it on there just to retreat with, and as you can see, her Cynthia whiffs her any basic Pokemon. I think that's like a Curly in her hand or something. So that is super bad. There's pretty much no recovering from this opening. I mean, Buzz Garb Shrine, too fast, too furious. He's gonna get that Nest Ball. He's probably gonna get a Slugma. Yeah, Slugma's good. I mean, just guaranteeing that you can see cards when you want to see them. Oh, and the Oranguru. Yeah, so you got the Stack Boy combo going on right there. I mean, it's good. What are you gonna do against that? So you got somebody who's bricking, essentially, versus somebody who can just stack their deck legally. So again, it's pretty one-sided. He's got a rainbow on that, though. Remember how I told you the DCE, Fairy Energy, Infinite Force, the last game was 120, which was short of a knockout on Buzzwole. Since he had to put a rainbow instead of a fighting down on this Buzzwole, if she were to have her ults in play and she was to rare Candy Guardy DC Secret Spring this turn, and then retreat with an escape board or something, she would be able to take a knockout on this Baby Buzz, and that would be a huge swing. But she did whiff the Ralts, and she didn't attach the DCE first turn to retreat with. So, I mean, it is rough. It's just super rough. So she's Cynthia's, draws a whole bunch of cards that just don't really do much of anything for her at this point in the game. She's got the Secret Spring on the, she's got the standard attach of the Fairy Energy onto the Eevee so that it can Energy Evolve into Sylveon. But it would be really good if she could hard retreat that Lele right now, so that she could Magical Ribbon. But instead, this Lele is just going to take another beating. And Brady plays enough things to modify the damage to where I think he could possibly just take a knockout on Lele this turn. So if he puts down Choice Band, Beast Energy, Kukui with the Diancie at play, that's knockout, right? Do you even need Shrine? I don't know. So he plays another Rainbow down. He is just super threatening at this point. I guess Brady doesn't really have much else that he can do. Even if he did, this isn't even a bad play, because he can just swing around next turn and knock out. What's the Sylveon gonna do? Is she gonna put a DCE on it and knock you out? So here she goes, she Guzmas. She does have the DC, so she's gonna knock out that Slugma, and I really like this play. It was really her only way at this point to move the Lele out of the active. It's super threatened for dying on this incoming turn. So to be able to move it out of the active while also taking the Slugma threat out of play so that he can't stack his deck is just super good. But the con of that is that since she can't Magical Ribbon because she used Fairy Wind to attack, she can't search her deck for 3 cards and set up that way. So really she kind of just has to solo run this with the Sylveon. If she were able to like Fairy Energy, Guzma, Retreat, knock out the Buzzwole, then that would put her on a super good swing turn and she would actually be more favored at that point in the game. But here Brady just goes with the Guzma himself. He puts a 3rd Rainbow Energy on that Buzzwole to swing around with. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen 3 rainbows on any one Pokemon before in my life. So he takes that knockout and gets the Shrine into play, so the Sylveon already takes 10. Whew, man. That is one beefed up Buzzwole. So here she gets the Field Blower, probably only playing 1 copy, and she takes the knockout on the Buzzwole as well. So this is actually really cool because now she's really the only person with anything in play. But of course Brady immediately just plus she's on the Sledgehammer turn without Brady actually having Sledgehammer in play. So that's huge. This actually forces Brady to attach to his Oranguru. And you know when you're attaching to a Oranguru, you're just in a bad spot. So this is actually pretty huge. He switches, he Kukuis, maybe he instructed, and he passes. He got a new Shrine of Punishments into play, so that is at least putting some damage down on the Sylveon. But, I mean, she's actually in a really good position right now, which you wouldn't have thought of ever happening after those first couple turns that she had. That's just the thing. If you don't get the Macargo out early, and you don't have, like, the Acrobikes to draw into the stuff with it, like, the Buzzgarb Shrine deck can kind of just, like, peter out on its own. So that's why she's choosing to Guzma knock out all these Slugmas every turn that she possibly can. Because if it can just... if Buzzgarb Shrine just can't draw the cards that it wants every turn, like, it's just gonna fall apart. There's too much going on into it to where if Macargo is just not in play, it just doesn't function. So here she goes, she's Cynthia's again. And just does not draw much of anything. So she Fairy Winds again, which I agree with. That's a good play. Because at this point, Brady doesn't really have anything, so you just want damage on board so that you can start taking knockouts. Fairy Wind only does 110, and everything Brady has in play has 120. So unless she was able to play her own Kukui or something, she's not going to be able to take a knockout. So here Brady goes, he Lilies, he gets a Trubbish with a choice on his bench. I don't think she's played any items at all, maybe. So I don't know how relevant that is, but at least it got it out of his hand so he could Lily for more. Here comes the Ultra Ball. There's a new Slugma in play, so you know she's going to want to get that out of play as soon as possible. But since that Sylveon is in play right now, she would have to, like, attach to Eevee, choose not to Energy Evolve, Guzma, Hard Retreat. Except maybe that Eevee has 2 Retreat, I don't remember. And here Brady has the Buzz in play, and he attaches a Beast Energy to it, so that thing is a threat now, especially since this is Sledgehammer turn. And then that's really all he can do after an Instruct, so he passes. So she really needs to take a knockout this turn to make sure that Sledgehammer doesn't do anything. So her best bet is probably just to knock out the Oranguru, and ooh, she had to discard a rare candy. Did she Acrobike? She's playing Acrobike maybe? She had to discard a rare candy. That's not good against against Garb. But again, I mean, she's just got to draw into some stuff that works for her right now. I see a Fairy Energy. I wouldn't mind an Energy Evolution on her bench. That would be pretty good right now. Or she already has it in her hand. That's cool. So she gets a second Sylveon into play, even though it's racking up the Shrine damage and she probably doesn't play any more Field Blower. I mean, it's still fatter than 60 HP that's weak to fighting. So, like, that Eevee was threatened for a knockout instantaneously, and you don't want Brady drawing prizes right now when he's essentially bricking after he gets a Slugma into play. Because if he takes a prize, that's like one more card that could get him into a Macargo. Plus, now that she gets rid of the Oranguru, he has no way to instruct into the cards that he stacks to the top. So here he gets an Ultra Ball. He's probably going to want to get that Macargo into play. He also gets a Garb into play too, and the spicy Regirock guy, who does essentially 10 more damage than the Buzzwole. And there it is. The Ultra Ball does go for the Macargo as I predicted. Since he attached energy for turn onto the Buzzwole and the active, he's kind of doing that because he knows that Sylveon has no way to take a knockout on Buzzwole in one shot. So he, even though it's going to get hit for 100 next turn, the turn after that, he can attach another energy and swing around. So he can hit for 3, 6, 80, 90 with the Shrine. So that'll put her at 130. And then on the next turn, he can attach an energy, swing around for knockout. And then there you see him stack the top card of his deck with Macargo. He probably put something like a Cynthia on top if I had to predict. I didn't really pay attention. I never pay attention to anything ever. So, and there you go. She's at 130. He probably has a draw supporter on top. So, I mean, going into the next turn, he's probably going to promote either the Garb or the... Well, no, he doesn't get knocked out. So he's... Or he could have even put a fighting energy to the top of his deck. And then he can just hard attach and take a knockout. I think that's a little riskier. I would definitely go for a draw supporter and just hope I draw the energy off of it. So here she goes. She's searching her deck with the Tapu Lele Wonder Tag for the Guzma. Probably going to Guzma up that Macargo, attach a DC and knockout if she has the DC. But is she going for the Garb? Oh, she's going for the Diancie. Diancie's pretty good too because you can get rid of that extra damage. Plus, oh, she's gonna Magical Ribbon. That's what she's gonna do. So she's gonna... No? Because that thing has a lot of retreat cost. So if Brady doesn't have a way to move it with like a switch or a Guzma of his own, because he probably put Cynthia to the top of his deck, so he's not going to use Guzma the next turn. That she could just like set up a Magical Ribbon. I would have preferred the Magical Ribbon myself personally, because you really need to get set up still. The Max Potion was cool. That healed a ton of damage off of that Sylveon, but it looks like they missed Shrine damage on the bench, maybe? I think they did on the active, but I think they missed it on the bench. It doesn't really matter that much. Missing it like one turn, but you still don't want to. It's kind of both players' responsibility to remember the Shrine damage. I had tons of trouble remembering the Shrine damage myself during this tournament. Just because I had never played against Shrine before this tournament. Plus, like, dude, you have a lot of GXs in play, and then you have to pull out a lot of dice, and it's just annoying. So here he goes. He uses the Escape Rope, brings up that other Sylveon, and here comes the Swing Around with the Rainbow Energy. One heads, and 2 heads. So you got double heads. So that's 8, 12, 140... 150 with the Shrine, I think? And then the Kukui. No, I must be counting wrong. Well, either way, he takes a knockout. Oh, he's got the Beast Energy, too. Yeah, that's why that's a knockout. So he just one-shot a Sylveon with Swing Around. The turn after she Max Potioned it. That just goes to show the power of the Baby Buzzwole. Like, the card is, like, so powerful, like... It's almost unfair. It's not quite unfair. Like, it's just, like, super, super strong. There are, like, hard counters to it, like your own Garb. Like, Zark Garb just kind of, like, poops all over this deck. Bayonet kind of poops all over this deck. Bayonet's a good card. It can even move the Shrine damage off of itself. Although it's still a GX, so it still takes at least 10 between the 2 turns, because you can only move it off during your turn. So Bayonet can still, like, they can still, like, Kukui, Beast Energy, Choice Band, do a one-shot on the Bayonet anyway. I did test, plus Garbodor mirror with the Baynet in it, and it didn't make a difference. It just did not help at all. Unless you're making like a full-on Baynet deck, like a Zoroark Baynet or something, like Xander Pero played. I believe Xander Pero was the one who played that. So here she goes with a Fairy Wind into the Baby Buzzwole. That's the best thing to do at this point. You gotta get damage on that, because you don't have a Guardy or anything. Then next turn, anything can pretty much knock it out. Even the Ralts, I think, can. Yeah, even the Ralts, you can Draining Kiss for 10 and knock it out. So, I mean, personally, that's what I would be trying to do. The next turn is Draining Kiss. But actually, if you were to get a Guardian to play, like, it is a 2-prizer, so it can take a lot of damage. I still like the idea of putting up a 1-prizer, taking a knockout, because then if they knock you out, they go to 1 prize, instead of just putting a bunch of damage on a 2-prizer, but I don't know. I don't think it matters either way. I think Brady's going to win this turn, because he's going to swing around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with the Shrine, I think, plus the 40 already on it, that's knockout. And he was already at 2 prizes, so there you go. So you saw that she was able to swing, like, because Brady didn't get the Macargo early, that she was just able to just kind of sweep with the Sylveons even. So imagine if she actually got a Gardevoir into play on like turn 2. Like, she just would have won. That would have been insane. But unfortunately, she had a really bad start. Brady got really lucky, but it's also just a super good matchup for him, and, you know, he played perfectly as well. So shout out to Brady for being cool and good at Pokemon. And yeah, so that's the end of round 1. I'm going to be back eventually with round 2. Just kind of recording the stuff as I go. I don't know. I got a league challenge today, so I might just record like maybe one more round and then go and see how that goes. But alright guys, I will see you next time.